Hello! Today we are doing a Dior 2025 Resort Fashion Collection review. Let's look at a little recap of the show and later let's dive into some more details of the collection. Cruise show is a term for an in-between seasons collection, which is shown between the main ready-to-wear seasons, which is spring and summer, and then fall and winter. Those in-between shows, known as resort or cruise, were originally started for the wealthy clients. The client would go on a vacation around the Mediterranean Sea during winter time, and of course, in that period of time, stores would only have coats and boots and winter clothes, so wealthy clients really needed a mid-season wardrobe when they traveled to warmer countries during their winter break. That's how big fashion houses like Gucci, Dior, Louis Vuitton brought cruise collections to life. And that's how nowadays May and June are the 2 months when we see the biggest fashion houses show their cruise collections. And this is not really something that every fashion house does. Only houses with strong legacies such as Chanel or Louis Vuitton create these in-between shows because they actually have a clientele base that usually shops these collections, so they're already targeting the right client for it. So for the collection which we are discussing today, which is the Dior Cruise 2025, the creative director of Dior decided to host the show in Scotland, where Monsieur Dior himself actually once showed a collection in 1955. So you can say it was inspired by the original Dior. The collection was presented in the Drummond Castle Garden, which is a gorgeous location. Nowadays, it's actually very common for brands to show their cruise collections all across the globe, actually, in the most luxurious and extravagant destinations. Since there are no restrictions, really, for the fashion houses regarding location of their cruise shows, they usually stage the resort collections on their own terms outside of the industry-regulated locations. They can host it basically anywhere they like, and they are choosing usually very extravagant locations, which you would never think there could be a fashion show in there. So Drummond Castle Gardens is the chosen location for the Dior show. Has all the characteristics of a courtly 17th century Scottish Renaissance garden. It is a composite garden restructured in early Victorian times and renewed again in the 20th century when the garden framework and the exceptional interest of the original 19th century design were carefully preserved. In 1955, actually, Christian Dior himself showed a collection very near from the Drummond Castle Gardens, maybe like a few kilometers away. And as a memory of that, to celebrate that, photographs from that very presentation were transformed into prints and appliques on tote bags, as well as the edges of some of the kilts from the collection. The collection also was very modern, full of punk references, including tartans in vibrant purple, crimson red, and mustard yellow. And this really gave me a feeling of Alexander McQueen or Vivienne Westwood, which is why I really like this collection. And I really like the nod to the OG's tartan designers. Also, there was a prominent influence of the punk culture that can be seen through the studs, grommets, eyelets, chains, harness throughout the whole collection. Basically, the main historic figure for the collection was Mary, Queen of Scots. You can see a big inspiration from her court dress which showed in puff sleeves, corseted waists, billowing skirts, and pearl collars that form the core of the collection. It could have all come off as a fancy dress costume, but the designer really tried to make it more modern while not losing the tie to the past, to the Mary Queen of Scots. So corsetry was applied to the everyday wear, such as shirting and outerwear. Bustiers were worn with outdoorsy anoraks and waders, and crinoline shapes were cut into miniskirt lengths. Meanwhile, the basic everyday wear was elevated. So bomber jackets took on a puffy, airy shapes. T-shirts and sweatshirts came studded with pearls, and a chore jacket was thrown very nonchalantly over an embroidered mesh dress. So Chiyuri might not really look like a punk person, but one thing they do have in common is a love for slogans. So on some of the pieces in this collection, you can see some of the prints. Some words like emotional, hysterical, bossy, difficult, and nag were splashed front and center on feminine pieces in hourglass shapes. Chiyuri also used her cruise show to dialogue with local artisans and collaborated on this collection with Scottish textile houses, Harris Tweed, Johnsons of Elgin, and Esk Kashmir. Also, Robert Mackey, maker of the traditional ceremonial headwear worn by the Scottish regiments, worked on the hats. And also young British designer Samantha McCoach, who has been making kilts cool again since 2014, and her brand Le Kilt also contributed to the whole collection. For the hair and makeup, they went very simple and easy, so it was like a very clean look with single braids worn throughout the show, and it also gave a chic nod to the theme. You can basically summarize the collection as a juxtaposition of the hard-edged with the romantic that gave the collection basically like sharp modernity vibes. It was the collision of punk and prim that came together in this collection. You could see leather dresses paired with lace collars and leg matonon sleeves, and the hemlines were cut high and paired with biker boots over longer socks. Okay, now let's flick through some images on the Vogue runaway, because I want to show you my favorite pieces, and if you want to see the whole collection, I will link down the Dior's channel where you can see the whole, I think it's like half an hour of the whole show. Some of the comments are actually saying that, oh, we want to see more clothes because you're just showing the gardens, but honestly I'm not mad, because you can see all the close-up pictures on Vogue Runaway, and I think the gardens were just such a big part of the show that I am very happy they were shown all through the collection. So have a look at that, and let's go look at some of the best pieces of this collection. Okay, so I will be doing a voiceover now while we go through the collection. There were 89 looks in total, which is honestly quite a lot, but with a venue so large, they couldn't just do 20 looks. Obviously that wouldn't be enough. So as a big McQueen fan and a former punk girly, I really liked the opening kilt looks, especially because local artists were involved in the creation of them and they were providing materials for it. To be honest, I didn't really enjoy those looks with printed words on them. I thought they looked quite cheap. Then we have some more punk looks, and now we arrived at my first favorite look, which is number 26. I really liked this Mary Queen of Scots inspired black lace dress with puffy sleeves and a low neckline with a button slit going down towards the waist. I know I shouldn't really compare this look, but it kind of reminds me of Dolce & Gabbana. I mean, anyway, this is really chic. I love this. Moving on, we have some more kilt looks with this green olive color / yellow color. A lot of emphasis on the waist, some corsetry. We have still some punk references, many zippers, still some prints from Christian Dior when he was in Scotland. And then my next favorite look, which is 39. So here I'm really loving the green look with the knit made by the local artisans, with the punk vibe slits and the skirt that looks like a kilt, but it's actually made from like a waterproof, almost tent-like material. You can see there are some strings hanging from the skirt, and there's also like a zipper pocket in the middle, which is really cool. I also love the details on the bag and the necklace. There's like a seahorse and different shapes attached to the collar, which is really gorgeous. As the collection goes further, we can see some more darker colors. We can see some more jackets, some coats, trench coats, some knitwear. We see scarves. There are lace dresses with see-through materials. Then we can see some tie-dye, some flower embroideries, even some fur jackets, and a lot of gorgeous pieces for evening wear. And another of my favorite looks, look number 66, which is inspired by Mary Queen of Scots. Again, we have puffy sleeves and a low neckline, beautiful décolletage, corset with buttons going down, gorgeous embroidery on the chest and on the sleeves. Also a very particular skirt made out of like a mesh material. I don't know if you can see, it's like a see-through little holes. You can see tall socks, and there's also pockets. There is nice belt at the waist and gorgeous pearl necklace. I really like this look. And then we have my last favorite look, which is number 67, which happens to be the next one in the line. I know that you might think this is really basic, but I feel like the devil lays in the details here. I mean, look at this gorgeous neckline. There's like a built-in pearl necklace with the little pearls hanging down. You have silver buttons going down the jacket. I feel like this jacket is velvet with a puffy sleeves. There is also like a gathering at the waist, and then it opens up again, so there's emphasis on the waist, creating gorgeous silhouette. Then we have shorts, just basic shorts. There's also some belt showing. You can see again the long socks that were used throughout the whole collection, with tall boots, which are sturdy, but I feel like they are very elegant here, and this is a perfect look. It's very chic, it's very Dior. I love it. Okay, now let's go back to the collection and let's finish off checking those looks. So we have again a lot of Mary Queen of Scots references, puffy sleeves, a lot of tight waistlines. We can see some armor, almost armor looking like materials. Again, some long gorgeous dresses for evening wear. Again, punk references, so the gloves, the heavy boots, some more flower embroidery, some see-through dresses, some very nice headpieces like this one here in the middle with pearls over a mesh material covering the face. I think it's very beautiful. And this is the end of the show. I really hope you like this show, because I did. I think it was one of my favorite recent Dior shows. I really like the punk vibes of this show. I really like the location. I think some of the pieces are really gorgeous, and with this video I'm really not encouraging you to go and shop on the Dior website for the cruise show, for the cruise collection, because unless you're the wealthy target client of the cruise shows, you will not be able to afford it. So please use it as inspiration. Go thrift some tartan pieces, and maybe you will be excited like I am for fall to style some pieces just like in the cruise show. Thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next fashion review video. Bye!